All right, let's talk about the silent killer of AI projects. And here's a hint, it's not the fancy algorithms or the complex models. Nope, it's something way more basic, the data strategy. If you get this wrong, I'm telling you, even the smartest AI is basically dead on arrival.
And this right here, this is a huge truth bomb. You've heard it a million times. Garbage in, garbage out. You can have a world-class model, but if you're feeding it junk data, you're going to get junk results. The real point of failure for most AI products isn't the code, it's the data. It's always the data. So, what's our game plan? How do we build a data strategy that actually wins? Well, here it is. First, we're going to start with the decision itself. Then, we'll figure out what data we need to make it smart. We'll build a feedback loop to see if we got it right, teach the AI with that info, and finally, build the plumbing to get that intelligence where it needs to go fast.
Okay, let's get into it. This first part is the single most important mental shift you can possibly make. We're talking about a framework called decision-first thinking, and it literally flips the whole traditional approach on its head. This is the absolute core of a winning AI strategy.
And this slide, it just lays out the classic mistake, right? The trap almost everyone falls into. They look at all their databases and spreadsheets and ask, hey, what kind of cool AI can we build with all this data we've got? Wrong. That is the wrong question. The right way, the only way, is to start with a person and ask, what specific human decision are we trying to make better?
So how do you do it? Well, this framework breaks it down into 5 super simple questions. First up, who's the person actually making the call? Number 2, what exactly is the decision? 3, when do they need the answer? Is it next week or is it in the next millisecond? 4, what's at stake? What's the cost if the AI gets it wrong? And only after you've nailed all of that down do you finally get to ask number 5, what data signals do we have that could actually help predict the right answer?
Okay, so you've used that framework. You've locked in your core decision. Fantastic. Now it's time to feed the beast, right? You need to find the right data to fuel that decision. Let's break down the different kinds of data and see how each of them plays a really specific part in making that decision a whole lot smarter.
First up, behavioral data. And honestly, this stuff is pure gold. It's the digital trail your users leave behind. Every click, every pause, every action they take. These are the direct signals that tell your model what a user is thinking, what their intent is, right in the moment before a decision has to be made.
But here's the catch. This data is only useful if it's high quality. It absolutely has to be accurate, meaning it actually recorded what the user did, not some glitch. It has to be timely because knowing what a user did last month is useless for a decision that needs to be made right now. And critically, it has to be representative, covering all your users, not just one small group, otherwise your model will be biased from the get-go.
So behavioral data tells you what a user is doing, but to really understand why they're doing it, you need context. That's where transactional and operational data step in. We're talking about things like past purchase history, shipping logistics, internal workflows. This is the background information that gives all those user actions real meaning.
And when the decision is a high-stakes, real-time one, speed is everything. Think about something like detecting credit card fraud. The decision has to happen as the transaction is happening. Your operational data can't be minutes old or even seconds old. To be useful, it needs to be available in under a second. That's the bar.
So, your AI used all this data. It helped make a decision. Awesome. But how in the world do you know if it was the right one? To get smarter, to learn from its mistakes, your model needs a report card. And that's where the feedback loop becomes absolutely essential. Meet outcome data. This is your model's report card. It's the ground truth, no arguments. Was the transaction actually fraud? Did the patient actually miss their appointment? This is the ultimate validation signal. It's the one piece of data that tells the AI, hey, your prediction was right, or no, you got that one wrong. Without it, your AI isn't learning. It's just guessing in the dark.
Now, having all this amazing data is great, but a model doesn't just magically know what to do with it. You have to teach it. You have to show it what the right answer looks like over and over again. This process is called labeling, and it's how we turn all that raw data into the training examples the AI needs to actually learn. Let's make this real. Imagine you're trying to predict if a patient will be a no-show for their appointment. You've got a couple of ways to label your past data. You could go with manual labeling, where a person literally goes through every single record. As you can see, it's super accurate, but my gosh, is it slow and expensive. The other route is weak labeling. Here, you use a proxy,
An indirect signal like, say, the patient has canceled before, to automatically label the data. It's not as accurate, for sure, but it's way faster and cheaper. Deciding between these is a huge strategic trade-off.
Look, a brilliant data strategy doesn't mean a thing if the data is stuck in traffic when the model needs it. This is where your data pipeline comes in. It's the plumbing. It's what moves all that information from where it's collected all the way to your product so it can power that decision at exactly the right speed.
And not all pipelines are created equal, because not all decisions are. The speed you need is dictated entirely by that decision you started with. For a simple business dashboard, a slow batch pipeline that updates maybe once a day is totally fine. For monitoring a system, you might need a near real-time one that refreshes every few minutes. But for that instant fraud detection, you need a true real-time streaming pipeline. The decision dictates everything.
And this brings us to the biggest takeaway of all. Seriously, anybody can go out and download the latest, greatest AI model. They're becoming commodities, but the custom data pipelines you build, the robust feedback loops you create around your most critical business decisions, that is your unique competitive advantage. That's the real moat your competitors just can't cross.
So as we wrap up, I want to leave you with a question. A challenge, really. Now that you have this decision-first framework, take a second and think about it. What is the one single most important decision in your work, in your business, that you could start making better with AI tomorrow?
Thanks for watching. Like, subscribe, and click the notification button for more great content.